Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you what meals we had for dinner. Now, this week's video is quite different than my normal videos. There's a couple reasons for that. One is that this past week, my husband and I went to Florida with my mom and my dad and my two youngest siblings for fall break. We were there for a week, and so several of the meals from today's video are from us in Florida, particularly us eating out. And then the dinners that we had before Florida were pretty quick and easy. We did some leftovers nights getting prepared to go to Florida. So just bear with me this week. If eating out or travel, meals aren't your thing, I totally understand. I will have the timestamps in the description box below. You can skip around. And then I will also have my What's for Dinner playlist linked down below where you can see lots of other really yummy dinner inspiration. And next week's video will be more back to normal. But let's get into this week's meals, and I hope you enjoy and get some dinner inspiration. For this first dinner, I repurposed some leftovers. So we had some barbecue pulled pork as well as homemade macaroni and cheese in the fridge, and I wanted to use those up. So I decided to just do like a barbecue macaroni and cheese. I'm going to heat the barbecue sauce up with the macaroni and cheese. Now, when I reheat macaroni and cheese or Alfredo sauce, I like to add a little bit of milk and do it on top of the stove. And I'm also going to add in some barbecue sauce. So here's what I did. I added the macaroni and cheese with a little bit of milk to the saucepan, cooked it over about medium-low heat until it was warmed through, added in some of the pulled pork and the barbecue sauce, and cooked it for just a couple minutes until it was warm, and that was it. I served it up and just drizzled a little bit of the extra barbecue sauce on top, and that was our dinner this night. For dinner the next night, we had my family over and we did a spooky Halloween themed dinner, and we watched Hocus Pocus 2 for the first time. I will be showing you how I made this dinner in an upcoming video. It will be out this Thursday the 20th at 2 p.m. Central, so keep an eye out for that. Dinner the next night was a carryover from a couple weeks or so ago. I had some frozen burritos in my freezer that I wanted to use up, and so I decided to make these easy quote-unquote enchiladas. Now, please don't leave me a comment down below going off about how these are not enchiladas. I know that I didn't create or name the recipe. That's why I said quote-unquote enchiladas. These are more like smothered burritos, but whatever you want to call them, this is such a quick and easy dinner. So let me show you how to do it. I've got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. I have sprayed a casserole dish with some cooking spray. I'm going to add in my burritos. Use whatever you've got on hand or your preference. I have these from Aldi in my freezer that I'm going to use. You do not need to thaw these at all. You're going to cook these from a frozen state, and you can also use frozen taquitos if you have those. I'm going to add on some enchilada sauce. Use your favorite. We like the Old El Paso red. You could also use green. And then I am going to place these into the preheated oven and bake these for about 25 to 30 minutes until the burritos are cooked all the way through. Once they're there, I'm going to add on some shredded cheese and pop them back into the oven for about 5 minutes or so until the cheese is melted, and that's it. All right, here are the finished plates. Now, as you can see here, I did a couple of the burritos without any sauce. I just wasn't in the mood for it this night. Plain burritos sounded good to me, so that's my plate on the right. On the left are the enchilada sauce covered burritos. I added some sour cream for my husband, and then we had some of the leftover broccoli and cheese from our spooky Halloween dinner, so I just heated that up and served that alongside my husband's burritos, and that was dinner this night. For dinner the next night, I tried a new recipe for a seafood pot pie. Now, I was inspired to make this from a gentleman on Instagram. His Instagram name is Breaking Bread with Big Red. I'll have it linked down below. I saw him do a seafood pot pie with a Cheddar Bay biscuit crust, and it just looked so incredibly delicious. And I had this big box of Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit mix in my pantry. I got it at Sam's Club, and I've been trying to work through it. And so I thought, hey, I can, kill two birds with one stone, make this recipe and use up some of that biscuit mix. So like I said, I'll have his Instagram link down below, as well as the recipe that I kind of took inspiration from. And that'll be listed down below as well. So let me show you how to make this. I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees. In this skillet here, I have some chopped onions that I cooked in about a tablespoon or so of butter until they were soft. I'm going to add in my minced garlic and give that a stir and cook that for about 30 seconds to a minute. Next, I'm going to add in my butter and whisk that and allow the butter to melt. Once the butter's melted, I'm going to sprinkle in the flour, give it another whisk, and cook that for about a minute to allow the flour taste to cook out of it. Next, I'm going to add in my seafood stock while whisking, and if you don't have seafood stock or you can't find it, you can totally just use chicken stock or even vegetable stock. Next, I'm going to whisk in the heavy cream. You could also use half and half, that's totally fine. And again, I'm just gonna whisk that and then allow that to simmer for a few minutes until it starts to thicken. Next, I'm going to add in my seafood. Now, I had some bay scallops and shrimp in my freezer that I wanted to use up. I also found this can of lump crab meat in my pantry. I drained the crab meat really well, and then I seasoned the scallops and the shrimp with the seasonings that I'll show you in just a second. So I'm going to add the seafood in, and then I'm going to add in some potatoes. You could parboil or pre-cook some potatoes. I have this can of diced potatoes. These are already cooked, so I drain them and I'm going to add them in. And then for the vegetables, use whatever vegetables you like or what you've got on hand. I'm going to add in some thawed peas and carrots. You don't have to thaw them. I just happen to already have them thaw. You can add them in frozen. Now, I'm going to season this. Use whatever seasonings you prefer and season it to your taste. I took inspiration from a couple different recipes. I'm using some paprika, some Tony's Emerald's, essence of emerald seasoning, a little Old Bay, some onion powder, garlic powder, and salt and pepper. I'm going to give that one last stir and then set that mixture to the side. So here I have a baking dish. I've sprayed it with some cooking spray. And then in this bowl here, I have the Cheddar Bay biscuit mix. I just used the instructions on the back of the package and followed those. So I'm going to add my seafood pot pie mixture to the casserole dish. And then I am going to take the biscuit mix and just scoop that on top. And then this is going to go into the preheated oven. And I baked this for, I think it was about 30 minutes or so. You just want to bake it until the biscuits are cooked all the way through and it's really nice and bubbly. So once this was done, I pulled it out of the oven and then I made the butter sauce for the biscuits. I just took some melted butter and added in the seasoning packet. I'm going to brush that over the biscuits and then that's it. Here's what it looks like when it was done. This was delicious. This was so yummy. It was comforting. It was filling. Now, even if you're on a budget, you can do this in a budget-friendly way. You can use, canned seafood that's much cheaper. And because, you're eating it in the pot pie with all the other ingredients and veggies, you don't really have to worry so much about using a super high-quality seafood. And then one final note, like I said, took inspiration from a couple different recipes on this. I will definitely make this again, but next time I will cut the amount of cream and stock that I used. So I used about 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of butter, and then a cup each of the stock and the cream. And next time I'd cut the liquid ingredients in half. I had to go back in and add some additional roux to my seafood pot pie, make sure to get it as thick as I wanted to, but this was delicious. For dinner the next night, we just did leftovers. I didn't get a picture. I apologize, but we had leftover seafood pot pie. We were going out of town the next day to Florida, and so we wanted to use those up before we left. Now, the rest of the dinners are from our vacation. If that's not something you're into, totally understand. You can go ahead and exit out, and I'll catch you on next week's What's for Dinner video. So, like I said, on this day, we had traveled from Nashville to Florida. It's usually about a 6.5 hour trip for us, but I think everybody and their brother was going to Florida, but it was fall break. So the usual 6.5 hour trip took almost 9 hours for us and about 12 hours for my parents. So by the time we got there, we were just ready to eat and rest. I DoorDashed dinner for us from a restaurant. I think it was called El Pollo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it was basically Peruvian roasted chicken. I got their family meal. I wasn't sure what sides everyone would want, so I just got a little bit of everything. Their Peruvian fried rice was delicious. Their black beans were so yummy, and the fried plantains were perfection. So good. And that chicken had so much flavor. They came with 2 different kinds of sauces. I don't know what kinds they were. One was a green sauce. One seemed to be like a mayonnaise based sauce. The green sauce was good, but it was spicy. It was hot. So it was good to have the other sauce to kind of cool it down. But that was our dinner this night. It was yummy. It was nice to have dinner already there for, my parents when they got home, and we had leftovers for lunch a day or 2 later. So that was good dinner. For dinner the next night, we just grilled out at the rental house. We did some hamburgers. I did some with barbecue sauce, some without, some with cheese, some without. For the cheese, we used some pepper jack and cheddar cheese. And then we have the fixins for the burgers. So we've got some lettuce, tomato, onion, some buns, hot dog buns as well. And then we've got some hot dogs as well that are grilled up. Again, did some with barbecue sauce, some without. For baked beans, I just took a can of the Great Value Maple Bacon baked beans, I think it was, and I added them to a pot. On this particular day, we had done pulled pork for lunch, and so I took some of the pulled pork and added it to the beans, chopped up some onions, added some extra barbecue sauce just to kind of doctor up the beans a little bit. And then we'd gotten some macaroni salad and potato salad from Walmart. We did a Walmart delivery order. And then here's a picture of my plate. So I have a little bit of the baked beans, macaroni salad, potato salad, one of the barbecue hot dogs, and then a hamburger. When I do like barbecue hamburgers, I like to keep it simple. I've just got the barbecue hamburger as well as some ketchup and tomato on my hamburger bun. And that was dinner this night. For dinner this next night, my husband and I went to a restaurant we've been wanting to try called Louisiana Lagniappe. It's in Destin. And a quick note, just in case you're a little confused, because I said my whole family went, but then my husband and I went out to dinner. Whenever we go on a family vacation, if we're anywhere for more than a couple days, I like to kind of separate stuff out. So I like to have like just my husband and I go out for a meal, just my mom and dad go out for a meal, my mom and dad and my siblings, and then my husband and I'll take my siblings. I like to kind of mix it up a little bit. You know how it is. Even though you love your family, sometimes too much time together is a little too much time together. You know what I mean? So I like to kind of separate it out. And plus, different people like different things, and that way, everybody can kind of go where they want to go. But to start with, they brought us some hush puppies to the table. These were so yummy. My husband hadn't had lunch this day and had had a light breakfast, so he was starving. He asked if we could get the lobster rangoons. They were so good. I only had a couple, but they were delicious. And then I got some crab and corn bisque. My entree, or both of our entrees rather, came with either a soup or salad. So I got the bisque and my husband got their side salad. And then for my entree, I got their blackened redfish. And my husband got the filet Oscar, so it was a filet with fresh crab meat, hollandaise, and asparagus. Both of our meals came with a loaded baked potato, which was delicious, and then like a little side corn vegetable saute. It was really yummy. The next night, we were going to go to McGuire's Irish Pub for dinner. We've been wanting to go there for a while, and when I mentioned we were going to the Destin area, a lot of people suggested it, but it had a crazy long wait. It was like over 2 hours, and there was absolutely no parking, so we said, forget it, we'll go somewhere else. My mom and my siblings and I ended up going to Acme Oyster House. My dad and my husband went to, I can't remember the name of it, I think it was like Bruchala's or something like that. So at Acme, my little brother and sister the night before had gotten some grilled oysters, and they loved them, which was surprising. Normally, they don't like seafood. My little brother will eat salmon, but that's pretty much it. So they wanted to get them again, and I was happy to oblige. So we got some of the grilled oysters, and then we got their crawfish and crab dip. And my sister and I loved this dip. It was delicious. And then for my entree, I got their half and half. So I got half fried oysters, half shrimp, and then it came with fries and hush puppies. This was so much food. I saved half of my oysters and shrimp and had it for lunch another day. For dinner the next night, we went to a place called Buffalo Jack's. So my little brother's birthday is next week. My husband and I won't be able to celebrate his actual birthday with him. We wanted to make sure, though, we did something with him. So while we were in Florida, one night we let him pick where we went, and then we did like a birthday cake with him afterwards. He said he wanted somewhere that had pizza and wings. So like I said, we went to Buffalo Jack's. We got started with their appetizer sampler. Now, this picture was taken after we all kind of took some. So this was not the complete appetizer sampler. There is stuff missing for this. But we got the Southwestern egg rolls, the fried mozzarella, and the fried pickles. And all three of these things were delicious. So yummy. Now, for the wings, we just did, I think, like 25 wings and all split them. We got some of their buffalo medium and then their barbecue and lemon pepper wings. I tried the lemon pepper and barbecue. The lemon pepper were good. The barbecue were so delicious, and everybody in the family, except my little brother, he doesn't like barbecue sauce, but everybody else absolutely loved the barbecue wings as well. Now, I knew after eating some of the wings and appetizers that I wouldn't be terribly hungry for my entree, so I just did one of their side salads with ranch dressing, and that was our dinner this night. For dinner the next night, we'd had a really busy day. Nobody really felt like going anywhere for dinner, so I DoorDashed food from a Thai restaurant. I believe it was called Siam Thai. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. I apologize if I am. I got their combination latna. My husband and sister got their pad thai. My dad got the Penang curry. My little brother got the sweet and sour chicken, and my mom got the chicken fried rice, and everything was delicious. Everybody really enjoyed their entrees. So for our last dinner, my husband and I went to a place called Bayou Bill's Crab House. We hadn't been here before, but we really enjoyed it. We'll definitely be back. It was in Santa Rosa, so it wasn't nearly as busy or touristy as the restaurants in Destin, and we really enjoyed it. Now, I hadn't eaten very much this day. My husband hadn't had anything at all, so he was really hungry. We did have leftovers, though, but we started out with their grilled oysters, and then my husband got a few of their raw oysters as well. And we'd both been wanting sushi, and they serve sushi at this restaurant, so we ordered their rainbow roll, and it was good. We also got their Santa Rosa roll, and that was incredible. That was delicious. Next, I had a side salad that came with my entree. I ate like half the salad and saved the other half and took home with us. And then for my entree, I had their mahi mahi Orleans. So it was mahi mahi with like a cream crawfish sauce on it. It was really good. It came with hush puppies and a baked potato. I couldn't even touch the baked potato and hush puppies. I took those home for my sister, and I took home like half of the mahi mahi as well. And then for my husband's entree, he had one of their steam pots, which came with like crab, shrimp, potatoes, corn, all that good stuff. All right, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I know this video was different. Check out my What's for Dinner playlist down below for more quote-unquote normal What's for Dinner videos and lots of dinner ideas and inspiration. And come back next week and check out my What's for Dinner video for next week, where I'll have some more dinner inspiration for you. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.